Hello again. It is me, your local lesbian loser, back to talk about more Twitter discourse because it never ends, does it? So for some reason, every time a femme artist gets big, like especially really quickly, everybody loves them for like a month. And then will randomly flip and decide to hate on them for usually something very dumb. But I think this time might be one of the dumbest reasons I've seen a femme artist get hate. So let's get into that. Let's unpack that, shall we? I'm sure we all saw Chappell's performance at GovBall. Iconic, show-stopping, incredible. She was dressed up as drag Statue of Liberty with her ass out. I don't think I've ever seen an assless skirt before, but it ate. I'm sorry, it ate. And in her performance, right before she sang My Kink is Karma, she mentioned how she was invited to perform, or she was invited by the White House to perform for Pride, and she declined. Rightfully so. She said that she told them that when we have freedom and justice and liberty for all, that's when she'll come perform. Yeah. She specifically mentioned like queer rights, women's rights, trans rights, how all of those things need to be addressed before she will like perform for the government. And that to me does not sound like it should be controversial, right? If I was in her position, I would not perform for the White House if they didn't respect my rights. Like, duh. She also made a statement how she wanted people, all oppressed people in oppressed and occupied lands, to eventually like have freedom, as we all, well, I say all. Everybody watching this, at least, should want. I know there are some people who don't want that, but that's... So, then I saw maybe one of the dumbest tweets I've ever seen, and that is saying something if you've ever been on Twitter or X. Again, I'm not gonna show like the actual tweet. Again, it's a public tweet. It's gone like pretty viral, but I'm just gonna rant about it. I don't want to air people's shit out. Like, whatever. I'm gonna read off the entire tweet, so if you really, really want to, you can go find it yourself. Okay, so the tweet reads, I love Chappell Roan, but publicly announcing you're saying no to the most pro-LGBT president/admin in history to make a quick, vague social media point re-Gaza, something else, but consistently performing in states with actual active anti-LGBT laws in place is such a unique choice. And that's not all. Like, you wouldn't take Joe Biden's check to perform in support of LGBT rights/progress, but you're thrilled to boost Ron DeSantis' economy when Live Nation says you need to. Mama, it's not adding up. Girl, that's not on. That is not it. That is not it. I'm gonna try to break this down as best as I can. I don't script these videos. This is just me yapping in my car. So, bear with me, but let's first dissect the you're saying no to the most pro-LGBT president in history. What? Are we... We're talking about Biden, right? Because, excuse me? It's not even about, like, just LGBT stuff specifically, but the Biden administration, I'm sorry to say it, it sucks, but it sucks absolute booty cheeks. They are terrible. They are funding a genocide, and you want her to go support that? Not to mention how all of like Joe Biden's main campaign points to get him elected, he has not done them. He's just not done it. His main thing during the election to try to get people to vote for him was saying that the first thing he would do when he got into office was codify Roe v. Wade into law. Let's just think about that for a second, you and me. Let's just think about that for a second. What happened to Roe v. Wade? Is that codified into law, or is it gone? It's gone. It doesn't exist anymore. He did not codify that into law, and the Supreme Court freaking got rid of it. And you want a queer woman to perform for that? Not to mention just like the abysmal amount of, yes, like they mentioned anti-LGBT laws happening across like various states. And yes, that is like a state issue, but hey, the federal government can put some things in place to help protect queer people. And have they done that? No. So that's that part mostly addressed. There's more I could say, but yeah. To get to the next point about saying some vague, okay, this is just crazy. Making a quick, vague social media point re-Gaza something else. The fact that you can't tell what she was talking about, and the fact that you think it's a social media point, babe, please read any article. Actually, maybe don't do that because our media is a little bit, Hey, maybe listen to people talking and sharing resources about what is going on, and it would be very, very, very obvious what she's talking about. And it is not a social media point. It is a genocide. It's war crimes. It's oppression. It's apartheid. It's slave labor. It's, there's concentration camps. There's a lot of like real bad shit going on, and it's not a social media issue. Yes, it's being talked about on social media, because where else are we supposed to talk about it? Like, what you want us to telepathically communicate about global atrocities happening? That doesn't, I don't mean. Also, of all of the people that you're going to criticize for making a vague point about Gaza, should not be Chappell Roan. She is using her platform to talk about Palestine and Gaza specifically. Like, she is one of the most outspoken, like, celebrities that I've seen on this topic, and she's a rising star. There are people with huge established platforms that haven't said anything. Taylor Swift, Beyonce, and holy crap, I know Taylor has seen it because there was a whole thing a couple weeks ago where Swifties for Palestine got trending because Swifties want her to say something. I know she's seen it. She got online to make a comment on Gaga's post about people thinking that she's pregnant. Like, if she can see that, I know she's seeing the fact that she's trending on Twitter for not talking about Palestine. And like, hey, listen, don't get me wrong. I've been a Taylor Swift fan for my entire life, basically. Doesn't mean I'm not going to call her out for that, because that's crazy. Now, Chappell, on the other hand, at her concerts, she takes donations for friendship bracelets and then sells them at her merch stand for $10. And all of the profits from selling those friendship bracelets goes to Gaza. She's partnered with a charity and she sends all of that money to Gaza. And it's also like, it gets her whole community involved in it. And it's just a really, really beautiful thing. I don't remember the name of the charity, and I do not have service where I'm at right now, but I will put the link in the description so you guys can go check it out. Not only does she have the whole friendship bracelet thing set up at her concerts, but she also posts the link on her social media, like on her Instagram story, so that people who aren't at her concerts still hear about it. Like, that's a lot for her to be doing. And you're over here being like, ooh, vague social media post. No. Okay, now on to the last bit, which is turning down the White House, but performing in states with actual active anti-LGBT laws is a unique choice. Why? You know that these states that have anti-LGBT laws in place still have queer people living in them? Chappell Roan herself is from Missouri. Like, what, do you want her to not perform in her home state because her home state is homophobic? You want queer people in red states to just not be able to engage and celebrate their community and have people come in who are queer with a platform to show them that it is okay to be queer and that there are people out there who love them, like, no matter what their freaking government says? Like, that's wild. Like, do concerts boost a state's economy? Like, a bit. Unless you're Taylor Swift and you're bringing in, like, crazy numbers. But, like, Chappell's performing in small venues right now. I don't think it's really doing, like, insane numbers like this post is suggesting. Is it doing something? Yeah. Is it, like, Taylor Swift numbers? No. And I'm still, like, I'm not seeing that same energy for all artists. Why are we singling out a very outspoken queer person who is advocating for human rights? Why are we getting on her for going to a red state, but not, like, Taylor Swift? Make it make sense. Now, separate from that tweet, I did see another one being like, oh, she's performing in the capital of North Carolina, the state that passed the original HB2, like, bathroom bill that says that you have to go into the bathroom of your, like, assigned sex at birth. And why is she doing that but not going to the White House? I'm so tired of this. I'm from North Carolina. When HB2 was passed, hey man, I was 16. What do you want me to do? I couldn't vote for the people who put that shit into place. So you're saying now because I was 16 and I didn't get to vote for the people who made a transphobic law, that now I can't see Chappell perform because I live in a red state? And North Carolina's not even a red state, it's a swing state. We actually have, like, a Democratic governor right now. I don't know if that's gonna last, but, like, we need to pick our battles, babe. We need to pick our battles and we need to pick them better, because this is not it. I've seen Chappell perform in the South, and she had a whole, like, segment of her show, like, it was short, but she took the time out of her show to talk about how proud she is of herself and for everybody at the show to be able to be out and to be themselves and to embrace queer joy and to support each other and stuff like that, and how it's difficult being queer in, like, the Midwest or the South, and how important it is for us to show up in these places because we don't have laws in place to protect us and we don't have representation in government. So we have to, like, look out for ourselves and come together and support each other because we don't get that support from our government. And saying that she can't perform in red states is, like, taking such, like, a beautiful thing away from queer people just because of a government that they don't really have a lot of control over. That doesn't make sense to me. Her openers for her shows are local drag queens. Like, she's giving local queer people a platform. She's sharing her platform with queer people, and, like, because she does drag herself, like, drag queens are such an inspiration to her, and she's using her platform to, like, acknowledge and uplift them, and that's such a beautiful thing. It's exposing these local, like, small drag queens to, like, such a big audience that they may not have ever, like, seen before. Like, when I went to my show, there was a bunch of people in the crowd who had never even been to a drag show. Like, that was their first experience seeing drag, and it was wonderful. It was, like, such a beautiful way to, like, come together and not only, like, support Chappell, but support, like, local queer people that we can continue to support regularly because they perform, like, in our area. Like, that's wonderful. Queer people exist everywhere. even in red states, even in Palestine, literally everywhere. I also quickly want to go back to, I forgot to mention something. I want to go back to the point about the vague social media statement re Gaza. When she's talking about oppressed people in oppressed lands, like, that is not just Gaza. That is like the main focus right now, but there's like so many other countries and groups of people who are being oppressed, and like she only had a limited amount of time on that stage, and I'm sure she's like not able to like go through and list all of them, and she might have been under some restrictions about what she can, like, she said something, and she uses her platform consistently to advocate for people. So again, I'm not understanding. Like, there's Gaza, there's Sudan, there's Hawaii, there's Haiti, there's Puerto Rico, there's, like, Native Americans in the US, Native Americans in Canada. Like, there's oppressed people everywhere. Everywhere. We do need to be focusing on all of them. I get the points that tweet was making, but I don't understand why they are directed at Chappell Roan, and she is somebody who is so publicly, like, supportive of everybody and using her platform the way she should be using her platform, and the way that other bigger artists should be using their platform and aren't. Let's take that energy and give it to somebody who deserves it, because it's not Chappell. Not Chappell. All right, that is all from me today, I think. Again, happy Pride still. Be safe, have fun, support each other, love each other, be a good person, all that jazz. And, as usual, like, comment, subscribe, share, whatever you need to do. Stream Chappell's new song, Subway. It's not out yet, but when it is, y'all better be streaming. Okay? All right. Bye. Love you. Bye.